through my life, I have never believed that people usually do some things just to get to you in their own favor. What I mean is people that you trust, people that you've done things with, in fact relatives, family members. I've never believed that such things happen and such things exist. When I hear people say things like this or tell stories like this, I believe that they are just there to tell stories. You understand? I believe that they are always there to tell stories, maybe fiction and stuff like the stories that are made up. You understand? Not until I lived with my cousin. That was when I knew that situation changes. People change based on situations. People change based on attitude, based on what they've gotten in life. I started living with Amaka when I was 15 years old because I got admission into a federal university and I started living with Amaka. Amaka was my cousin. She lived near and close to the school. So her house was the best place to accommodate me before I moved to my apartment in school. Her house was like the fastest place I could have been at that moment. While living with Amaka, she introduced me to a man. His name is Stanley. Yes, Stanley was Amaka's coursemate because Amaka was in 400 level. So Stanley at a time started prophesying his love towards me. I thought that these things are just normal things. You have friends, you make friends, you talk about things, you talk about life achievement, things you do together, and at the end of the day, you achieve great things, you understand? But this story is the reverse of everything. Now, I started talking with Stanley, and Stanley, he introduced himself as a 400 level student. He's quite polished. Yes, I think his parents is in US, so he's a polished person, not like he's a polished person. So I started talking with Stanley, and Stanley gave me everything. Stanley proved himself as the best man. Everything about him was so perfect until one day. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened, but I don't know how Stanley made his way into me and he got me pregnant. At first, before I noticed I got pregnant, I didn't want to exaggerate. I just said, let me confirm first that I'm pregnant before I even have to inform Stanley. Now I informed Stanley and I got to know about everything. I got to inform Stanley that this is quite the development right now and what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this development? Because I am not going to do this alone. I am not going to